Hello, online crew. I'm going to share some Instagram changes with you today. So there's 3 changes that are either now or coming that I will share with you. And I also want to share with you some areas that you can concentrate on to build your Instagram. Those of you that aren't really using Instagram yet, I would encourage you to open your eyes to that platform because of the untapped organic reach that you can get from things like Reels. I know for some people on social media, it's like, not another platform. I'm just trying to work out Facebook, let alone Instagram. But the fact that you can now, and have been for a while, you can actually cross-promote content from a business page to Instagram and stories. And, if you get really smart about repurposing your content, then you can easily include Instagram into the mix without too much more effort. Okay. So there's, for those of you that do use Instagram, you definitely want to listen to these updates because it will supposedly change the amount of people that will see your content and therefore engagement and those kind of things. So I'll share that with you in a second. So welcome to our community here, which is our online crew. If you've not been here before, my name's Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain, which is just a bit of fun. I'm at service to our online crew community here, which is entrepreneurs, home-based business owners, direct sellers, those in network marketing, MLM, and you would like to learn to leverage social media to build your business with modern online strategies. So we have this amazing thing called the internet. And as long as you've got an internet connection, you can actually get in touch with a whole lot of people from around the world. I'm building a network marketing team globally myself. So the internet allows me to do that. So if you are in a home-based business and you're struggling to find people, for people to buy your products or join you in your team, social media now enables us to do that. But you can do it a right way and a wrong way. So what I'm doing and what I'm learning to do, I turn around and I share with you guys because I'm in the industry building myself. Okay. So all the things I'm trialing and testing and I'll share with you. And as I learn, I give that content to you guys as well. So if anyone's new, please identify yourself so we can give you a big warm welcome to our community here. A few quick updates. Those that joined us on Clubhouse, I'm going to say this morning, but that's my time zone. So a lot of you, it's not morning. It would have been nighttime. Well done. Any of you on the Clubhouse platform, once a week, myself and some entrepreneur colleagues of mine, we do a Clubhouse room and we share with you a different topic every week. Today's was about target market customer avatar, solving people's problems. And even if you just get 1 or 2 tips out of what you listen to, it's completely for free. It's like getting an education for free. So if you're missing that once a week, I would highly encourage you to keep an eye out on my posts for Clubhouse every week and jump onto that discussion because you can learn so much 100% for free. It's just crazy. And there's little nuggets that you can pick up on when we talk about these particular topics that really might help you in your business. Okay, so thanks to those that attended today. Secondly, I'm doing the Reels training part 2 tomorrow. Okay, so in my coaching community. So if you want to get the Reels training part 1 and the Reels training part 2, which I'm doing tomorrow, so join us live or on the replay, then just join our coaching community. The link is above. You can get your foot in the door for $1. I have thousands of dollars worth of practical training on posts, content creation, everything you can think of regarding building your business online. It's all there in the coaching community. You can check it out for $1. But tomorrow I'm doing the Reels training part 2. So if you want to learn more about Reels, how to use them, I did part 1 last week of how to get started from scratch. And that was pretty cool training, if I must say myself. There were things that people use, like people that are using Reels constantly didn't even know some features existed, but they did from last week's training. So the link is above if you want to join us in the coaching community. You're not locked into anything. Don't panic. You can leave when you like, all of that kind of stuff. But, come in and join the cool kids in the coaching community. And just a reminder that Thursday night or Friday morning, depending what time zone you're in, I am interviewing the winner of our recent online crew video challenge, which is Cherie Woodard. So she will be live with me either Thursday night or Friday morning, depending on where you live around the world. How are you going around the world? We've gone into lockdown. When I went live yesterday, the Premier announced, I didn't even know until I got off my live, that we were going into lockdown last night as of 6 o'clock. So the kids are home, the hubby's home. I don't mind lockdowns because it doesn't really affect me. I do all my work from home. It's not a big deal. But when they're all home, it's just different, you know, when you work from home, when everyone else is in the house. It's like, go to school, go to work. I need my working environment, which is the home. It's interesting. But we're in a 7-day lockdown as of 6 o'clock last night. So how are you faring in your part of the world? I know a lot of people are looking at the UK at the moment because cases kind of rising, but all the restrictions are being released. And yeah, it's just a really interesting time around the world. Anyway, squirrel moment. How is everybody? We've got Crystal, we've got Laurie, we've got Debbie, we've got Rashida, we've got Beth, long time no speak, Rashida. We've got Johnny in the house. Lockdown here in Melbourne for another week. I did hear that. Johnny's in Australia, but lives in a different state to me in Australia. They had a lockdown for a week and it's just been extended for another week. I don't know what's going on in Australia at the moment, but we're having lockdowns everywhere at the moment. Hello, Yvette. If anyone needs an invite, I can see that Beth must be having a conversation with Lynn. To get on Clubhouse, guys, you need to be invited by somebody who's already on the platform. So if you don't know much about it, just put in the comment section, I need an invite. And I know there's a lot of people in my VIP program that have spare invites. So they could just troll the comments here and help you get your foot in the door. You need to be connected in each other's phones, in each other's contacts for the invite to work. So there's just a couple of steps before you can actually get on the platform. But just put in the comment section, I'd love an invite to Clubhouse. And I know my VIPs and myself, we can look through the comments and reach out to you and help you with an invite on the platform. Honestly, we're giving like an hour's worth of training once a week completely for free. And there's so many nuggets you can pick up from what we're talking about. Laurie, no lockdown this week, but the big C came to your house. So is that confirmed, Laurie? Did someone in your household have it? Let us know. So there are people that need invites and have invites. So that's cool. Awesome. What have you read about Australia, Gloria? I've read Australia has only 12% of the population that has the COVID shot. Yeah, you know, the really interesting thing about Australia is, if you know much about Australia, we are actually a really conservative country. Have a stab in the dark of how many cases we had in our state yesterday or the 24 hours before that to go into lockdown. Just throw a number out there. How many cases do you think? So I'm not talking about all of Australia. I'm talking about my state in Australia. How many cases do you think we had here yesterday or the night before for our premier of our state to go, we're going into lockdown for 5 days? I'd love to hear your responses because you'll probably be surprised. So Susan said 8. Johnny said 10. What else you got? Because I was speaking to a student last night, and he was saying how well his business is going. And I said, oh, is that because, you know, people are coming out like in your area, like you were in lockdown? He's like, no, we got people flying in from everywhere, from New York, whatever. We've got no lockdowns. And we only had 13 cases of COVID yesterday. Like, we're all free and good and whatever. Like, it was really interesting to me because, so Michelle said 25. So you're correct. 5 cases put us into lockdown. That's how fast our government in Australia puts us into lockdown. So we have a really small percentage of our population, which Gloria mentioned, actually with it. But they are so strict. As soon as there's a little inkling that it's going to spread, mind you, there are multiple, like the people that have had it have moved around massively. So the contact tracing at the moment is a bit of a nightmare for the government. So they've just shut us down to try to control over that. So mixed opinions about that. Like, obviously, if you're in business and you're shut down again for another 7 days, it's really hurting people. But they're just trying to stop the spread. So I kind of understand it. Sydney's out of control, Michelle. So yeah, we've got a few states like New South Wales. We're growing in Australia overall, so that would be part of the equation. And it is, Gloria, it is the Delta variant, which spreads really, really quickly. Hence, you know, only 5 cases, but lockdown, lots of multiple exposures that haven't even been explored yet. So anyway, we've digressed. Let's get back on to topic here regarding Instagram. So the first thing I want to make you guys aware of, and this is an important one, and I'm still testing it, but this is apparently the latest advice just recently. the algorithm is saying like our normal recommendation is 30 hashtags. And the recent advice up until like the last week has been use all 30 hashtags. Give yourself the most, the best ability for searchability. Okay, and you can do that via hashtags because people search content via hashtags. So the advice has been use up to 30, which is what I've been doing. The new advice is that many hashtags is confusing the algorithm. It's too much for it to keep up with. So the new advice is, just checking that my notes to make sure I'm giving you the right advice, 8 to 15 hashtags. So there's a mixed bag of responses to that. Some people, I've seen comments where some people I've tested that and I'm getting a lot less engagement. I've seen other people write comments saying I'm using it and it's working. I'm getting more engagement. So jury's out for me. I'm testing, using them all and then not using them all and cutting them back and whatever. But this is the latest advice from Instagram saying we need to cut down the hashtags because too many people are using too many hashtags and it's just confusing the algorithm. So I would just say to you, test it. So 8 to 15 hashtags. So if you use all maximum 30, what I recommend you do with hashtags, and you have to use hashtags on Instagram. For those of you on Facebook, you don't have to use hashtags on Facebook. A year ago, it was like not the done thing, like don't do that, but now you can. And it can help your content be more searchable on Facebook. It's just that people aren't used to it on Facebook. People are not used to searching content via hashtags on Facebook, but maybe one day they will. But you can absolutely use hashtags on Facebook now. But just be aware that the new recommendation has been don't use all 30 hashtags, use somewhere between 8 and 15. So I've been watching some gurus that post multiple times a day and got hundreds of thousands of followers, and some of them are still using 30 hashtags. So it's a little bit confusing to sort of watch and see what people are doing. But I would just say, just test it for yourself and see, if you get any more followers or you get any more engagement or less engagement. And I did hear one of the gurus reply to somebody when they said, I'm using 8 to 15 and I'm losing engagement. And they're like, give it time. Give it time. So, okay, so that's number one, use less hashtags. So test that. The second thing, it's not here yet, but it's coming, is last year around about, I think it was September last year, they brought in captions for Instagram TV. And then about May or earlier this year, they brought in captions for video and stories. And they're bringing in captions for the actual feed. So if there's a video on the feed, like including reels as well, they're going to do automatic captions. So like when you're scrolling Instagram would be the same as when you're scrolling Facebook and you come across a live, but you're not in an area that you can actually turn the sound on. Instagram's going to bring automatic captions to the actual feed when you're scrolling the feed. So that's actually a really good thing. The third one, so just watch out for that, and that, people are very happy about that use Instagram sort of regularly. The third one's an interesting one. Apparently what Instagram doesn't like from us, and I'm guilty of this, is that just when we do an automatic share, like, so you've got to post in your feed of Instagram and you press the little, what looks like a paper plane type thing, and you just post it straight in your stories. Like, according to Instagram, there's no thought behind that. You just sharing some content and you're just sharing it to your story. And I'm guilty of that. I will admit, from my feed, into the stories. So Instagram is bringing out a new sticker that they're trialing at the moment. I don't have it. I've checked. If you want to check how it works, is if you go into stories and you go into Instagram and you go to post a story and just, take a photograph of yourself and then go to your stickers. So it's a sticker and it's literally called a reshare sticker. So you go and create a story of something and you go to the stickers that you would add on, like a GIF or the time or the date or something like that. But one of the stickers, it will say reshare. So when you click on this reshare, I've seen visuals of it, and you click on that, it brings up all the stuff that you've looked at on Instagram recently. So not only your stuff, but other people's stuff as well. And if you can go and choose one that you've looked at recently. And what it does is it puts the reshare on top of what you've posted. Does that make sense to you guys? So you go to stories and you might go, take a photo, and then you go to the reshare sticker, and it'll bring up another screen with everything you've looked at on Instagram lately. And then it'll bring it up on the screen as a reshare. So then you might put some words on, I love this video, with an arrow down, and the reshare will be there. So their purpose of this is trying to get more people creative in Instagram stories, because too many people are just sharing from their newsfeed to stories, and it's quite boring. I'll admit I do a lot of original content in stories on Facebook, but I don't do a lot of original content in stories on Instagram. So it depends where you hang out sort of the most. But this reshare sticker will be an interesting. Check whether you've got it. But they're just testing it at the moment. So the likelihood, if anyone's got it, it's probably in the US. If any of you have got the reshare sticker, but it's not rolled out to everyone, so you may not have it. But it's going to be an interesting one, but it does give you the ability to be a little bit creative of what you put in your stories. So my recommendation around that is to keep checking back as to whether you have this new reshare sticker, because they'll roll it out to everyone eventually, but always adopt new things. You will get priority when you're using new features that the platform brings out. So if there's a new sticker, you want to embrace it and use it. So part of me bringing you this information is so you're aware of what's coming and what's new. And if you suddenly see it, that you can actually start testing and using it, and it could help with your organic reach. Okay. So they're the three things. So it's hashtags, it's auto captions on the feed, that's coming, and the reshare sticker is being trialed and tested at the moment. So see if you've sort of got that feature. Now, I just want to finish this video off in giving you some, I guess, just some tips in relation to what you want to concentrate the most on Instagram to grow your audience. So there's three main things that I want to share with you. This is hot right now, and the more people I follow, like, it's just popping up more and more all the time, and that's carousel posts on Instagram. So if you don't know what that is, you can either post one picture, or you can post up to 10 pictures and you swipe. So you probably would have seen that on Instagram when you go to your feed and there's more than one image and you just scroll through them. That's called a carousel post. It doesn't mean you have to use all 10. You could use 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 or the whole 10. But they are working extremely well on Instagram at the moment. So if you're a little bit creative, that does take a little bit of time to put carousel posts together. Or if you've already got like photographs, in your camera roll, you could just, you just select and you choose multiple photographs and you put them in a carousel. So carousel posts are getting lots of traction right now on Instagram. The other thing is how often you post. It's more than Facebook. If you want to really grow your audience on Instagram, I'm only really just getting started on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram if you're not. Is you really need to post minimum sort of 2 to 3 times a day on Instagram to really grow an audience. The advice that I've been given, if you just post one a day or less, you'll just maintain where you're at and possibly even lose followers. So it is that platform where you want to post a little bit more. Facebook, we don't want to overpost. On a business page, you might only want to post 1 to 2 times a day. On a personal profile, once a day, once every 2 days. But on Instagram, you want to post a little bit more. But there is this amazing feature. I've shared this with my VIPs, and some of you might know about this. It's called Repost. It's an app, and that you can pull up other people's content and copy it and put it on your own Instagram. That's a conversation and a training for another day, but you don't have to have all original content on Instagram. If anything, I would encourage you to actually, I know this might sound weird, copy other people's posts from Instagram and put it on yours in your niche area. So again, a conversation for another day regarding Instagram and how to have really good content. But if you're looking to repost, it's actually a really, really good idea. Okay. And the last thing I want to leave you with is the potential for Reels. So if you're not doing Reels, you really want to watch my training last week, how to get started with Reels. And I'm going a little bit more in depth with a little bit, some more features and, creative stuff if you want to do. My thing with Reels is I don't particularly want to sing and dance. So you wouldn't have seen one. I think my very first Reel, my caption was, "This is the most singing and dancing you'll ever see from me on a Reel." I use it for education purposes and stuff like that. But if you want to sing and dance and you want to do the split screen and copy somebody's dancing, go for it, guys. But don't feel like you have to. you can actually just, like, it's just a little video. People are overthinking reels. But my training last week was how to get started, and my training tomorrow is about all these sort of additional features that you might choose to use. But you do need to be in my coaching community to get that, but you can get your foot in the door for $1. And look around for 3 days, work out whether you want to stay or not. That's completely up to you. No one's locked into anything. But if you want that training and you want to start playing around on reels, there is help and training available to you. Okay. So just to wrap that up, carousel posts are huge. Post to 2 to 3 times a day and do reels, and that will give you the opportunity to grow your following faster. And please remember, stories do not grow your following. Stories are only for the people that are already following you. It doesn't bring new people. So if you put all your effort into stories and not on your feed, you've got it backwards. So in Instagram, it's all about the feed. And you really want to niche down what it is that you're there for. What are you teaching? What are you educating people on? What do you want them to know that you do? And get really specific with that in your feed, and throw everything else in stories. So your behind the scenes, your pets, your family, all that kind of stuff, throw all of that in stories, but be really niched and, specific in what you're putting in your feed in Instagram. So just work out what your little niche area is. What do you want people to know that you can help them with? Okay, so lots to talk about, regarding Instagram, but I'll leave it there. Just probably the key thing to know about all those updates is the hashtags, and start, if you are one of those people that's been using 30 hashtags on Instagram, is to bring it down to 8 to 15 and test it, and give it a good test and see how you go with that, because that's the new recommendation. Okay. So Heather, just picking up on a comment here, that is weird that you copy other people's posts. It's amazing. So let me just give you an example, Heather. I was listening to a training of an Instagram guru, and this blew my mind. So he creates, him and his mum create multiple Instagram, accounts, and and now we're in the hundreds of thousands, 100% of their content. There was one of those accounts, over 100,000 followers, 100% of their content, 100% was copied. No original content, which is a no-no on Facebook. You just don't want to do that on Facebook. You'll get caned for that over on Facebook. Facebook wants original content. So don't go doing that on Facebook. But on Instagram, you can create an account and go and follow a number of other accounts in your niche area and copy a post here and copy a post there and put it on your feed and get hundreds of thousands of followers, apparently. It's about the value that you're bringing, not necessarily who created it, but you've just got to credit the author. And that's what the repost app is about. It actually, when you post it, it says reposted, like posted with repost. Okay. Conversation for a different day. If you want to know more about that, let me know. But yeah, it's a weird concept, Heather, because on Facebook, it's all about your original content, find your own voice, find your own brand, all that kind of stuff. But on Instagram, it just blew my mind that somebody could create an Instagram account and 100% of their content was copied from various other people, but it's in the one spot. And one of those was actually like a health and wellness page, and it's just full of like exercise videos, but all they do is go and follow a whole lot of influencers in, exercise and diet and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I'll take that post. I'll take that video. They're doing a leg workout. They're doing an arm workout. They're doing a whatever workout, and they just copy it and put it on their page. So they've got this awesome Instagram page of all these workouts and all these recipes. So it's all in one place, but none of it is their original content. But to somebody following that page, it's very, very useful. So it's really interesting how that works. Total different ball game from Instagram to Facebook, that's for sure. Anyway, hang on a minute, guys. Sorry. Okay. It is genius. I agree with you there. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Lots of food for thought for you there. I hope that was useful to you, to share that information with you. Remember, those of you in my coaching community will dive more into Reels Part 2 tomorrow in the coaching community, and I'll interview Cherie the next day. Okay, so I'll see you guys same time tomorrow. Have an awesome rest of the day. Bye.